Not Vincent Price. Good evening. The Birds? Alfred Hitchcock? No? Okay, apparently not. That's how I just say good evening now. Guys, it has been a remarkable start to 2021. When we left off in 2020 and we had a rough 2020, we decided we were going to make things as positive and keep thinking and keep dreaming. And we're on a very positive trajectory right now. We want to keep it that way. I wanted to give you guys a few updates before we get into what the plans were. We, as you know, have set up a fund for Madam Rack on the ARMTA website. It is the the Betty Joan Rack Scholarship Fund, which will be giving a bursary of $1,000 per year for students to further their studies in piano. We, Melissa and I, are donating $10,000 towards that fund. And so far, we've also had some donations come from some of you at home. And I just really want to thank you all for donating to the Alberta Registered Music Teachers Association, which Betty Joan was a part of herself for over 50 years. And we were closing out on a couple $1,000 raised from you folks, you good fine people at home, have helped raise a couple $1,000 extra dollars. And I just want to say a big thank you to you, because that means that now a couple more students can help get an education and learn piano skills. So a big thank you right off the bat. And nice, and it's also a nice thing to know that this fund will be an annual fund, an annual $1,000. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat right then. This fund that is going to be in place is going to be in place for at least 10 years. And as donations come on online, it might even stretch farther than that. I hope that throughout the years, this becomes a valuable part of their program, and that people continue to keep it going and keep a fund going. So we will stay close to that. But a big thank you to all of you for helping to keep that dream alive. And it's certainly something that would have been important and special to Betty Joan as well. And I think that that's equally important. So thank you very much. Aside from that, aside from all the wonderful things that are happening and the future students who are going to be learning to play piano and get to know Betty Joan's name, we also are still moving ahead with the construction on the building as planned. The only challenge so far has been that I am getting a requote to see how much costs have changed, because construction costs have actually gone up quite a bit since we had our last estimate done. So we're going to find out exactly what those fees are going to be, but we're still going to do as much as we can possibly do with the money that we've saved so far to get that building put up. Thank you to KO Mac, appreciate that. Takeo just sent us a super chat, thank you. We are so pleased at the thought of having another little building and another addition to that community that every day I have people come in the store and they're excited for us to build on that spot. And they're excited to see what we can do and excited to see what vision we can have. So the amount of faith that everybody else has in me is... it's almost I don't know how to say that I feel. I feel like it's this weight, and it's an honor to know that the whole community really is excited in that area about having an addition and someplace for them to go and someplace to be a part of. And I'm looking forward to the snow melting off so that we can get the ground thawed and get the foundation in. But that's what we're waiting for right now, is we're waiting for snow to melt, a quote to come in, and then we're going to book concrete and get the foundation in and then start on that building. That's going to be an exciting summer. They're saying realistically the concrete probably won't be able to go in until June, which means it'll be a July, August build. So probably by fall we should have the building up in near completion, and then we look at what we have left over to do the interior.
I think that might be also because our last freeze date is like in May, isn't it? So they might be accounting for that.
Yeah, we'll see. They really just have to test the soil and see to make sure that the frost isn't there, because you don't want to pour concrete on frosty ground. It might not settle right. It might heave or have cracks. It's not as stable. And that's why we kind of had to stop last year and couldn't get the foundation poured, because it got too late in the season and it was freezing overnight, and that's never a good sign. But that's the plan, is to get that building up, and I'm excited for it. And in preparation of having the building go up, I've been working my butt off, like literally fell off. I had to staple it back on earlier. You might notice a few different dimples in my derriere from all the staple marks from my working my butt off. Um, and with Josh's help and with his guidance, we're able to get some new shelves up. I will have the part 2 video of the mini store makeover. And the reason why I decided to do a little bit of a makeover at the shop was because I felt I could do better. I wanted to make the back area of the store a bit more of a thoughtful presentation and a little bit classier than what it was. We put a bunch of shelves in when we first set up the store, and those shelves were collecting kind of clutter and some things that maybe weren't selling and taking up space for no good reason. And it left the things that I did want to have in the back, like the jukeboxes and pinball machines and stuff, out to dry. They were just out hanging in the middle of the road, so to speak, in the middle of the shop without a place to live. And so I think I've remedied that. We're creating some really nice little departments around the store and offering some unique products back to community. The one thing I did want to say is that our store isn't just an antique store. We're called Curiosity Inc. And if you look at the front of our store, it says General Merchant on it. Part of what I love about this business is not just the going out and finding antiques, because clearly you watch these videos, you know that I love to go out and find treasures. It's one of the favorite things I do. But the other thing I love is I love to find new products, interesting new products. The innovators today in our year are out there making, designing, and fun items, and also supporting people in our community. So we support quite a few folks that would normally sell at farmers markets. That has been a depleted venue for them in the last year or so. So we are selling honey and jam and pickled beets and pickled, I haven't tried the pickled garlic yet. There's pickled hot spicy garlic. That might be worth bringing home. But all these things, the salsa, the hot sauce, the coffee, the tea, the soap, household cleaners. You think of all these different people in my community that are making these wonderful products, and they're all things that add an extra sort of little flavor to our business. And that's because we are a general merchant. I believe in carrying all things cool and interesting. So some of the shelves that we put up in the store are going to fit and accommodate some of these new and interesting products that we've decided to bring in.
I think also, though, a big part of our business is the sense of community. And by supporting local vendors and local businesses, it keeps that real, that it keeps it down to home, and that we're helping support other small businesses like us. So
it's true. And
I mean, not necessarily like us, but people that are selling things.
people who are creating,
Yeah.
and whether it's artists like Anthony Antoine, who comes in, our soapstone carver, or whether it's the family in our neighborhood that makes soap at West Mountain Soap Company, or Cole, Grandma Cole, who's got Cole's Kitchen and makes all the fine jams and jellies. I get to call up the person who is their own little factory. And my belief is this: these small businesses, these small entrepreneurs, family-owned businesses are what makes our communities interesting and great and unique. And I think the more that we see these things, and the more that we support people in our area, in our community, as you should probably in your community as well, I think it just helps to strengthen an economy. And I look back where I am. Edmonton, Alberta had a bustling downtown at one time, and then they put up a really big shopping mall, and a lot of the businesses left the downtown. And you know, then you have a big mall. Well, the problem, Takeo Mac, thank you so much again. The challenge is sometimes when large department stores or box stores come in, that your community starts to feel not larger but smaller. It leaves you with less options rather than more. And so we are kind of fighting back against large corporate structure in a way and keeping it real. And so we are very proud supporters of people in our area. So when someone comes in the shop, you're going to see things that are made locally. You're going to see things that are made in Canada and also in the United States and other parts of the world, of course, too. But we are definitely big fans of trying to have an interesting shop. So I'll get that part 2 video out soon. You'll see sort of how the layout has changed, and really it's going to give me a lot more options to carry some interesting products in the shop.
Sheila said Josh just came on live, but he said he'll change it to an hour and 15 minutes from now. so that we can.
Oh, Josh. Well, thank you so much. I don't know if Josh is watching this right now.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that was super nice. Yeah, Chewy.
Melissa is trying to get the dog's attention because
he
he's
completely, when you go, he comes up to you like he wants to be picked up, and then as soon as you even go near him, he backs up like, no. Mm-mm.
So Abigail or Jason, maybe just let the dog out. He's the dog. Thank you, Mel. The dog is intense to go outside. Like he is more excited than any dog should be to go outdoors right now.
He ran up so fast I could almost not open the door fast enough.
Sometimes I think he headbutts the door when he's like trying to
does.
run before it's open.
He headbutts the door.
So this is what the plan is. The plan for this year. Oh, and Peter's asking, are the shelves in? Yes, I'll have that video. I'm going to edit it. I forgot to do a little, I don't know. Maybe I'll edit it tonight and post it tomorrow.
But you had there's still, they can see it because that last part where you did the.
No, I didn't show anything about the shelves yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, that's they have not seen footage of that yet.
I haven't even seen them yet. I'm going tomorrow to see it live in person.
I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. I've been doing a lot of thinking about what's important to me. Number one on that list is time with my family. Number one on that list is time with my wife and my children. It's pretty soon the kids are gonna be big and they're gonna be gone and living their own lives. So I want to
They better come back and visit.
They better come back and visit. And so I really want to make sure that I spend lots of time with Melissa and the kids. The other thing that's really important are the wonderful friends I have in my life. Josh included, Hans, Bob the bottle man who comes in, my friend Greg who comes in, who's the pen guy. You know, there's so many people that are important parts of our lives, and they are you know, fans and supporters. And you know, losing Dave was a big loss, not just because of how important he was for our family, and he definitely was a web that helped keep our family closer. But he was an unwavering support of me and the channel. And I think at times Melissa would be like, you want to talk about anything else other than what Alexander's up to right now?
My dad would seriously call just to hear, so how did that pick go? How did put Alexander on? I'd be like, hey.
But as you get older, you realize that a lot of the people you have that were your supporters that you looked up to, sometimes they start to fade out of your lives for whatever reasons. And now I feel like I want to take on that role where I get to be that person for my kids, and I want to offer them unwavering support no matter what they want to do. And to my friends and to all of you out there who watch this channel, you know, that's why I call out my son Steven's YouTube channel to support him with his art. I get Jason and Abiel to come and help me out, and we like to go out and have fun and build Lego together. Gail says, you're an asset to community. Bless you both. Thank you so much. You're appreciated. Thank you very much, Gail. That's appreciated too.
I'm chopped liver. Yep, that's true. But he liked chopped liver.
But you know, with all the things that are floating around in our lives, in terms of hobbies and interests and things like that, I really enjoy taking things that are neglected. This is what you know, people are like, well, what do you collect? What do you like to hang on to? And it's not about that for me. I love trying to make things better. I love trying to make things better. I want to leave this earth in a better place than, you know, I want to try and leave a positive impact on the things that I'm interacting with. Whether that's an old car or an old building, or sometimes the people I come in contact with, you get to offer advice and try and help the people around you and be part of your community. So one of the other things that's important to me for 2021 is trying to be a positive part of our community and a positive part of society in general. And I know that sounds lofty and it sounds kind of floaty maybe, but I really want to do that. And so I know that the priorities this year are going to be family and friends. Oh, Kat Brown says, you're the epitome of epitome of a general merchant, good sir. Local goods, things from the local population. Thank you so much. I love not just finding antiques for the shop, which is fun. And I love doing renovations. That actually brings me a lot of joy. Renovating buildings is probably one of the most gratifying sort of things. Maybe it's because I played with Lego a lot as a kid, you know, and I was always constructing houses. That was always been. So, Jim says, love your channel, love Steven's channel as well as Melissa's channel, even though she's less consistent when she publishes it. It's great. She has a lot of footage ready to go. Melissa also has a channel under Melissa Archbold.
It's hard, you guys. When you film a whole bunch of stuff, you want to make sure that it's not all over the place. But the truth is, my days are all over the place. So I have half of the people love it and half just let me know how all over the place it is.
Dan says, any plans to run for city office? This American would vote for you if he could. I don't have any plans to run for office right now, honestly. I feel like
especially right now.
you can make a big difference in your community just by smiling and being kind. Like, I think about the kids that come to my store. This is I have neighborhood kids come in my store after school, and they come and buy candy, and they're spending like 50 cents or $1 or something like that. It's fine. That's their allowance. I love having the kids come through the store because I really want them to have a great memory of coming in the shop. I want them to remember that there was this crazy place that they felt welcomed and that they felt safe and that they could buy some candy and just have a great memory. Things like that are more important to me than anything right now, more than anything. And I just want more of that. So this year for 2021, I want to make sure that my store is a nice experience for people, that it's easy to walk around, that they think things are cool and interesting, but also that we're supporting local businesses and businesses that, bring something interesting to our community too. It's the next one that we missed. Finish Crisp. Thank you so much. Sent us a super chat.
That wasn't the one I missed.
Okay. Melissa's just going back through the comments.
Irene said, Melissa, just post and we will watch. That's like, build it and they will come.
Somebody said, please, no politics. We're talking civic politics are different than federal politics.
Yeah, believe me, you don't have to tell us no politics. We know better.
We don't talk politics on our channel. But the only time, you think about whether a person would run for office in terms of like a mayoral position or city council is if you feel that you can make an impact. But I feel like we can make an impact of some sort with what we do. And I look back on the past year and even the last couple of years, and in a small way, I am happy that we are able to honor people in our life. Our dog is summoning. Melissa has been summoned by her. I don't know who's the boss in this family. Chewy has somehow made us subservient to a Yorkie. He's the size of a large football, but he somehow rolls the roost. I don't know if your pets do that too. There he goes. Off he goes.
Oh my gosh.
He's an excited dog and he just ran up the stairs.
I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure how clean he was. I saw like stuff flying off of him as he was
Anyway,
running.
off he goes. It's like having another kid. He ran. He's like, "Am I free?" And then he turned around and looked and he ran again. So here's what's planned for the channel. This is what I want to talk about. We have one more auction happening March 27th with more items from the house. I don't exactly know, or I don't exactly have an expectation for what that auction will do for us in terms of finances. I mean, it will be what it will be, and I really hope that some of you that wanted something in the last sale didn't get something, that you can get a good deal on it. Yeah. There's a lot of costume jewelry and interesting sorts of things that should not go for a very high price. So I'm really hoping that more than anything that there's some good bargains and some good deals for everybody out there. Treats for Chewy. Thank you, Denkar.
Thank you. Now he's chewing a chew toy in the back. It's like all the things are happening when you need it to be quieter.
Yeah, he's squeaking around. So one last auction with some of the items from the musician's house. And we'll do an update and we'll do a live auction feed when that happens, and I'll update you guys as we go along. And I noticed that they actually put some items in from the last musician's house sale that maybe weren't picked up or maybe didn't get paid for. So oddly, the big giant box, remember I was finding all those scissors all around the house? Yeah. Somebody was super happy that they were going to bid and win on that, but whoever won the big giant bin of scissors didn't pay for it. So it's back up for grabs again.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
So here's what you have to look forward to in this year. I want to build. Cat Buzz says, Alex, Melissa, you're great role models, hardworking, creative, and generous. Thanks for all you do and inspiring. Thanks so much.
I think sometimes like shipping so far I've heard has been fair, like it's normal shipping. It's just that some people bought giant items and apparently those went, right? Like all the way to like Scotland, Germany, and it was like furniture pieces.
It is expensive to ship stuff overseas. So
like, especially if it's going to be like a heavy furniture item.
Yeah.
But
But there are a lot of they're like, yeah, no, people bid on and won stuff.
Because they wanted it. I mean, if you want it bad enough and it doesn't really matter where you are. We live in a very small world now because we're all very connected.
What's
So
crazy is that there's YouTube channels out there now, and they're almost their whole YouTube channel is buying stuff from us and then reselling it on their YouTube channel. So go just buy it direct from the auction yourselves and save the. Well, I mean, I guess if they have something you want, go and buy it. But yeah, this is an opportunity to get something from the auction. April says Catherine's already posted that no online bids will be accepted. Why? Oh no, April, you can 100% bid online. You're just pushing the wrong button. You have to go to the March 27th sale and click bid now, and then it shows the whole list.
and you have to be registered.
And you have to be registered, yeah. Actually, no, because I wasn't even logged in and it showed me.
But you can't post online bids otherwise. Because remember on the thing it said no online bids, and very much people were bidding online.
Oh, that's just because they have like a photo, and you can't bid on the photo.
That's what it is. It's
a marker.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot.
It's like a place marker.
It's saying you can't bid on that because it's a picture. It's literally the picture for
It's a promotion for the auction, and so it's saying no online bids for that.
That confused me too.
You have to actually go in, and then it lists everything. Once you get into that bid live list, you're fine. Anyway, that auction is happening. The store is getting cleaned up, and things are looking good. And so here's Takeo Mac. Thank you so much. I feel like I should tap dance for you. You've sent me like $15.
I feel like I would watch you tap dance.
No.
You made it look like it was happening. What do you think of your tea so far?
I haven't had any of my tea yet. Because I will have some tea in a little bit. I was going to get into what to look forward to this year on the channel. I am bound and determined to build something.
I feel like there's a building that's going up.
There is a building that's going up. And so there is going to be a building that's going up. But aside from putting the addition on the store, I would like to find, and this is my goal this year, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not. This is me just saying it. So if you watch the channel, and then like 3 months from now, I'm knee deep in something, you'll be like, right, you said that randomly on a live feed. This is what, and you know, this is the thing. If you say something and you plan for it, it is likely to happen. If you don't put thoughts in motion, you don't plan for things, they don't happen. So here's my wild dream, my wild thought for down the road. I would like to find another renovation series to get into. I would like to buy a fixer-upper property and renovate it. I want to get creative. I want to do some really crazy, interesting things, but I need to find the right property to do that with. So I think if I can get the right deal on the right type of property, we will probably try and do a full-blown reno series of renovating a property of some sort. Ideally, it would be hoarded full of cool stuff again. If not, I just really want to, you know, I love picking flooring. I love designing like what kind of door or window is going to go here or there. I just love doing that. It's one of my favorite things. We need to get our store up. That's a priority. But from a personal side, not the store side, that's what I think I'd like to do at some point later on in the year. So, this is one thing I've learned, and this is something I've taken with me my entire life. And for those of you that have just joined the channel, you don't know my whole story. We didn't have a whole lot of money growing up. I'll just say that. Didn't have a whole lot of money. As many people grow up without a whole lot of money. But one thing I did when I was a kid is that I would make lists. I'm really good with checklists. And I have been since I was like 8 or 9 years old. And so what did little Alex have on his checklist? I had things like top hat. We've been over this. I'm not a normal person. I remember I couldn't have friends over to my house. But if I'd go to their place and they had, you know, a house at all, I just wanted to be normal. And I've said it before, we just wanted to have a normal life. We have that, the house and that stuff in a garage. But I would make lists, and I remember putting on something, I put a camelback couch with rolled arms. Weird thing to put on a list when you're like 14 or 15, but we got that.
Yeah.
And that was the first couch that we had in our first house. And then we got the house. And then, you know, you aim for things and you keep aiming for things. And as you aim for stuff, it becomes a reality. And so when I get something checked off of a list, Bootjack says, whatever happened to the old war journal you took? It's gone. That's gone. Yeah. The war journal sold to a friend of mine during our COVID closure. So it is gone, Bootjack. when you make a list, you can plan for it. So for me, it was, I'll use the couch for instance. It was, how much does this couch cost? Um, how am I going to get there? And then, the job, the savings and all that, and then it happens. And so we are going to plan for the building to go up. And we're going to plan for some crazy renovation property to happen this year. And I said this last year, if you recall, on a live feed, for those of you that might have caught that I said, I foresee that this spring or summer, we're going to have the building up. The old Rolls Royce, which was a hunk of junk that I bought, that car was nasty, that I would be driving up to the front door of our new store in that shiny Rolls Royce convertible. And I just foresee it's going to happen. It's on track to happen. And now when you get to the end of that list, you start making new lists and you keep moving forward. I'm not ready to put my feet up yet, folks. I'm not ready to hang my old duster up in the closet. Do cowboys have closets? Or I just imagine they...
That's not what I thought he was going to say.
Like, what do you do if you're a cowboy?
Cowboys have closets?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, whoa, it's a tough day on the field, middle lady. And then what do they do with their duster? I imagine it's dusty, so the wife wouldn't really want it in the house. They'd be like, throw that there. Maybe that's why they have like the stoop and they hang it outdoor like on a hook. That's what I think.
MP said, Melissa, your chocolate gravy video you did with the kids last week was cool and fun. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hooks on the wall.
And I'm glad that you thought it was cool and fun. It was very delicious.
Oh, somebody.
Dave said, cowboys have saddlebags.
Yeah, but you wouldn't just leave your coat in a saddlebag, I don't think.
I have come home to Alexander having like car parts sitting in like, I don't know what, in my kitchen sink before. So I feel like he would be the cowboy that would have
I see. I didn't know where you're going with that for a second.
All that stuff would be in my closet for sure, right up against my white coat.
Listen, our garage is not super big. And so when you need to soak some stuff in Varsol, why your kitchen sink's the only thing that's going to fit. I haven't done that in a long time because apparently Melissa frowns upon me using harsh chemicals where we cook our food. That was a long time. That was like long time ago.
Wasn't, the weirdest thing, speaking of long time ago, when we lived in Winnipeg over like 17 years ago now, I came and Alexander had like pieces of a car set up in one of the bedrooms upstairs. Like, what car was that? Was that a MGB or something, or MGA? But he had...
That was the interior.
But he had it set out like he was building the car in the room. I was so panicked.
People have built cars in their basements before. I've seen where people have built, like, I don't know, I'm just going to say a Cobra in their basement or something, and then they have to dig a hole out of the foundation to get the car out. It's not just me. Why wouldn't you want... Men are definitely the reason why there's an attached garage, because if we could, we would just park the garage right in our living room. We park the car. That's why when you watch those secret agent movies and the guy's like got some loft and he wears his sunglasses like all day long, even when he shouldn't, that guy he drives into his loft and parks like right in his living room. That's like the ultimate thing. In fact, if you had a big screen, you could just have a drive-in right in your house. You'd never have to leave your car. If your seat reclined enough, you could just sleep in there too. I might be a guy who lives down by the river in a van if I'm not careful. That lifestyle is doable. All I need is an iPad and an old van and I'll be set.
But when you see those videos online where they're like just free in a van and there's always mountains and I'm like, oh, that looks so nice. Like, I don't really think about the crap part of it. Sorry, I missed the comment now, but they said, do we still have the Flamingo in the shop?
Yeah, the Flamingo is new and it's a company called Melissa and Doug that makes it. This is not the sort of thing you'd want to ship because it's like life size.
But you can order that. If you're in the States, you can order, I think, from somebody that sells it there.
Oh, Lori's World is
on. Hi, Lori.
Hello. Yes. So we're going to be making some plans. I don't even know. That's the great thing about making plans without, something concrete yet, is that you think of it and then you find the thing and then it happens. And so we're in the midst of making some magic happen with the store being built. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of questions about what the plan is with the cafe. I don't know whether we're going to be the ones who run the cafe portion. Like, if you can envision this, all of this hard work and all this effort has gone into us putting this building up. Quite costly to put a building up. You guys probably know that. Now it's even more costly with construction costs going up through the roof. When it comes to somebody standing there serving coffee, it's likely not going to be me or Sean. And so I'm trying to find, although Sean said he would do it. Sean is very interested in working in a cafe.
He's so very polite and like,
I would trust Sean.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we already trust Sean.
Oh yeah, it's not like I didn't trust him before. I trust Sean a lot. Like
Yeah.
he's, but I'm saying that if he was like running the coffee shop for us,
He could start his own little coffee shop.
but you know the thing is, we have a friend named Bill who has run coffee shops before.
Yeah.
I always say, hey, it's German Bill because, well, I don't know, he's German. But not only that, he used to run an import shop and have a coffee cafe sort of shop too. Apparently, he can bake and cook just about anything. But there's different licenses and different business permits required to do that. Honestly, folks, what I want to do is get the building up first and then start seeking approval to see what we can do with the space. In the meantime, that is going to be a lot of extra space to expand into for our store. So we're going to just get the building up and then take it one step at a time. There's no point jumping the gun on this, but that is the ultimate vision, is to be able to have coffee and have some little tables and a beautiful little spot. But there's nothing saying that we couldn't have a spot to serve coffee and a couple tables and still have all kinds of cool antiques around, right? That could be cool too. So the plan is still in motion. It honestly just feels like a dream right now. It feels like a dream. You know, when you're so excited about something that you don't want to even get too caught up in the thought of it happening because you're afraid something might cause it to not happen. That's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, I want this to happen really bad, but I'm not going to get super excited. It's like shaking the Christmas present, you know, like I'm not going to shake it because I don't want to guess what's in it. I want to make sure the building is there first, and then we're going to figure it all out. We'll get it all sorted.
Maggie wrote a couple of times. I just missed it. What happened at Madame Rack's house? You stopped mid-sentence.
Oh, what happened at Madame Rack's house? Well, Hans and Zenobia are working on Madame Rack's house.
I think he just had a thought and nothing happened at Madame.
No, I wasn't saying about Madame Rack's house. I'm saying we want to find a house to renovate.
Hello, Cindy, and thank you so much. She said more room for antiques.
Yeah. Jenny says this is a Louis Vuitton stuff replica. The one bag looks, the one that says Louis Vuitton bag, we're quite certain that it's real. The other
We
two
didn't have anything authenticated though. Like
No.
we didn't take it in.
But the one bag that I think is like lot number one, we're really sure that that thing is real. And it has a little bit more wear on it. Like it's one that she probably put some more use into.
It had the right stitching and everything, but I was hoping that we would have been able to go into the store and have somebody say, you know, an absolute. That's why we didn't say in the description that it was.
Well, I put on the other two that we weren't sure about, I put Louis Vuitton marked bag.
Right. Yeah.
So
Just in case. So somebody might think that it's a replica and end up getting an authentic. It's a gamble. But that on the other side, somebody might buy it and then it be a replica. So be careful when you're bidding on those ones.
yeah, we just put on the ones we weren't sure of, we put Louis Vuitton marked bag.
Yeah. Anytime we don't know, we'll be honest right up front. Just, yeah, it's marked.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just because they might be. Like they could very well be Louis Vuitton. I just don't know well enough to look. Like you look at the inside, you look at the stitching, it all looks pretty good. But
And the right type of fabric, the way it was printed, but
let's see. I'm trying to read some of the. We're gonna take a couple minutes to answer some questions here too, just so we.
a lot of people are saying that as soon as those borders open, they're coming up to visit us.
I can't wait until we have people come and visit us. You know, that's the thing that I miss the most is having people come and visit, and
I think things being not even back to normal, more say, but that people are not all, but I think that it's giving us a little bit more anxiety than we need right now.
But you know what though, it is. I was thinking about this the other day, and this whole the borders being closed and everything right now, it's a blessing in disguise. And I say that because, and I know it's very difficult for many of you, and it's made it so I can't visit my sister who's in Colorado.
Yeah.
It would be very, very difficult with the restrictions they have. I wouldn't be able to because I couldn't shut my store down for that long. However, I got to spend more time with my family. We got to accomplish an awful lot of stuff.
We were forced to slow down all of the extra
Slow
stuff,
down.
all of the extra stuff that I used to do with driving all the other kids and all of these appointments. And my second, I had another job on top of the ones that I have already. All of those were kind of kiboshed, and I was forced to just focus on what was important. And I think as horrible as that last year was, it made us all kind of laser focus what was actually important and to get out of our own heads and to, yeah, really focus on what we wanted.
There's an awful lot you can do even with some restrictions in place. So we're looking at what kind of vacation
you,
we can
Kathy.
have in our own area. Somebody said, oh, Kathy Lombard, thank you so much.
Yeah, we did do a lot of
Roberta
stuff over
says,
last
"What did
year.
you do with the Shaq sports card?" I still have it. I have it set aside to actually send in to get graded because I feel like it's a very high grade card. There's a few that I kept back for grading. Problem is, when you send a sports card in to get graded, and I'm not exaggerating here, I sent my sports cards in 7 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
I have 14 sports cards that have
I
gone
knew
in.
it was a while.
And it's been 7 months. Like, who operates their business? I could get test results and find out, if Noah from Noah's Ark had blood A
I
type.
so thought he was going to say if he was pregnant or not.
No, I mean, it's the impossible is more possible in getting your sports card graded right now. And in fact, they've eliminated their low cost. They're not a 9-month backlog.
Hi, Matthew. He said, I waited a year for my graded cards. We're getting there.
Yeah, guys,
Oh my
it is
gosh.
almost, it will be
I wonder if
closing
we
on a
sent
year.
it to the same place.
Well, the main place you send it into is PSA. It is, it's one of those things where they've got kind of this monopoly. It's the place that is considered the best to get your sports card graded at. And it's the one that everybody looks at as being like, yeah, that's legit. That's real.
It's not because they're slow. It's because we just got in the lineup of 1 million people and we're expecting it to go fast.
Here's the thing. Supply and demand. If you know that you have that much demand, you hire more people and you get people taken care of, because you know what? I have almost every second day I have somebody come in the store who's got sports cards and they're like, well, I was going to send this in and get graded, but I don't want to be without it for a year. And so there's a lot of business being lost on their part too. Cindy Red Deer says, I want a contest trip I can't take in the mountains. Oh, that's too bad. Well, hopefully you can find a friend or somebody to give it to. Did you hear, speaking of the mountains, Jasper Park Lodge, I think it was, some mystery client.
They verified that it was The Bachelor.
No, I was just going to get there.
Oh.
Wow, spoiler alert. So I was going to say a mystery client booked the whole hotel, and it ended up.
The world knows, Alexander.
Well, they do now.
It's true.
Wow. Hey, why don't we talk about what we're going to get the kids for their birthday?
You have to tell me to not tell them.
Well, there goes my story. Anyway, The Bachelor rented out the whole hotel. But the flip side of it is, then they decided that it was too complicated to come to Canada. And so now they're renting out all the suites at the hotel for like dirt cheap because they basically scared off all the normal customers. So.
But then they also have a very specific, very now time. So they need to get people in there right now. So to bring them in, they're just giving it for super cheap.
There isn't enough bleach and hand wipes and stuff available to unstink what The Bachelor would leave behind. I wouldn't go anywhere near that hotel after The Bachelor used it up. I'd be like, oh man, you gotta air this place out.
You can imagine what I'm like at the movies. No, actually, I'm the opposite at the movies. I could have just watched a movie. The next day, I can't even remember it. I'm like, what? He's like, we just watched this.
No,
not me.
Unless she does remember it and she's like, oh, is this the part where the guy dies when he falls off the cliff? I'd be like, Melissa, what is your deal? I'm telling you, this is my... Oh.
And I am that person that's like, wait, what is she in? Hold on. She was in The Bachelor.
Melissa's surprisingly good with recognizing actors and actresses, even if they like have had crazy like facial hair. Like somebody could walk out.
They could have been 10 years old and whatever I saw them in, and they're in their 40s now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she's
I
very
remember
good with
people's
names.
faces. It's bad because sometimes I'll never remember names, but I can remember if I've met somebody before. I'll be like, I know you, but I have no clue where. Just take my word for it.
Yeah. Her dad, Melissa's dad, Dave.
Yeah.
Was terrible at spoiling movies. And I love Dave with all my heart.
Yeah.
You couldn't watch it. Hey, two things would happen.
But he would try not to spoil the movie, which spoiled it even worse. Like,
watch this. This is the best. This is the funniest part.
I'm not telling you what's going to happen, but you need to watch. It's funny.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, it's
do.
not as funny as I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
Patricia says, did you guys see the record-breaking sports card this past week over $1 million? No, I didn't see that one. Probably Wayne Gretzky or Mickey Mantle or something. The other thing your dad would do is he'd fall asleep in a movie.
Yeah.
He would stay awake long enough to tell you when you should laugh. Oh, you gotta watch this. It's really funny. 5 minutes later.
Yeah. And then I'd say, Dad, what? You fell asleep? No, I was watching. Are you sure?
It could be like 2 PM.
Yeah.
It could be midnight. It didn't matter. A movie is on. That was like, I wonder if that's what his parents did to make it. Like, you know how some people, you go for a car ride to make your kids fall asleep? With Dave, it was putting a TV on.
Yeah, it was
But the worst part was your dad would fall asleep with the remote on his lap.
Yeah. When we were kids, one time he had it right on his lap and we wanted to change the channel. It was like some horrible History Channel one. It was like the worst one you could possibly think of. So we got the tongs.
You got the salad.
It was like the
This is
solid
when you were
tongs.
a kid, right?
Yeah, when we were kids. I think James had the tongs. One of us had it anyways. And he was going up to dad with the tongs right towards, his lap. And just then my dad woke up and he just sees kids hovering and one of them has tongs right where you don't want it to be aimed. And he like panicked.
Yeah, you guys with like a hazmat suit and tongs and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
What's
nobody
going
wanted
on?
to like. Cindy said, Dad would have been like, I was just resting my eyes. Yep.
But so my dad, on the other hand, he would look like he was totally sleeping, and then you'd be like, "Oh, I wonder if this movie like won any Oscars." And he'd be like, "Yeah, it won 3 in 1996." You're like, how is he paying attention while sleeping? He would get himself into like this almost, meta. I don't know if he was like it's like he was really tired and he would start to sleep, but he was cognizant of what was happening around. Like those people who go into comas and they're like, yeah, I was aware of everything the whole time. And you're like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
My dad would do that just in the middle of a movie or something too. He would just pass out. What's with our dads being sleepy? I think I'm going to start falling asleep now. I feel like I'm not utilizing my dad powers.
So here's what I learned about preschool. I was super tired yesterday. I think this happened, and I'm going to tell the story correctly. But I was like, all right, you guys, you know what? New plan. Mrs. A is too tired. I'm going to sleep. Okay, never take your eyes off the children. Second one, never lay down and pretend to sleep because they will jump on you so fast. And especially right now, that's a no-no. I had like a kid full on like stretch out and jump.
I used to do that with our kids. I'd pretend I was sleeping, and then they would play this Wake the Daddy. I'd pretend like I was lying there, and then as they got closer, I'd go, "Whoa," and I'd grab them and tickle them and stuff. So I think that would still work. Donnie says store expansion coming soon. Yes, Donnie, we're just waiting for the ground to thaw. Nature, nature is slowing me down.
I know.
But I'm filling in. See, this is how I look at every single day of my life to see how much I can maximize what I'm doing in every single moment, which is crazy, but it's what I do. I try and fill every day with something productive. If I'm not doing something productive that day, I feel like I've missed an opportunity. Raymond says, what's the shipping cost to send something? I almost like hiccuped there for a sec, but I didn't. What's the shipping cost to send something to the US? Depends. A letter, like $1.50 or something. An anvil, probably an awful lot. It depends on what it is.
Yeah, of course.
Like
The
a shoe,
size,
let's say a shoebox to ship to the United
depending on
States.
how far in the U.S., like where it's going.
Yeah, it depends on how much gas it's going to use. But like a shoebox with, let's say, feathers in it is probably going to be $20 to ship to New York from.
It all depends. Like I've shipped stuff to the States where it was super inexpensive. Like, and then just in Edmonton, it cost 3 times the amount. Like I ended up driving that package actually to that person because I didn't want to pay that.
Let's see.
Are you missing your Toyota?
Oh yeah, am I missing the Toyota? I see that.
Yeah, but are you?
Not some days, yes. Melissa's car, I have Melissa's old Volvo right now. I'm driving it. It's completely safe. It's completely practical. But
Don't you say it's completely boring. I see where this is going.
I wasn't going to say completely boring. I like Volvos. In fact,
me too.
If you're not familiar with what old Volvos are like, they're really cool. I had a Volvo P1800 that I drove year round for a while. I also had a Volvo PV544, which is like a funky looking little car. I drove that year round too. I like Volvos. If I had my choice, I would be driving a Volvo 122 Amazon station wagon right now. That's what I would be driving. Instead, I'm driving her newish Volvo XC90, which is great in winter and it has a heater and my bum gets warm and it does it on purpose. Like it's not like I drank too much water. I'm like, what's happening?
Like he says that, but I had a vehicle that the seat warmers were actually busted in it. And I was like, this is burning me. And it was actually shorting out and burning. So that was a Beamer.
So
Cindy said send a package to Britain. 1 kilogram cost over $60.
It all depends on where you're from and your post office and all that. So anyway,
Yeah.
Melissa's car has been really good, but no, I'm not missing the Toyota that much. There are occasions though where I look longingly at an open field and I think if I had the Toyota, I could just drive through that field.
And get stuck and then still be driving.
You know how I know I wouldn't get stuck in the Toyota? Because I drove it through 3 feet of snow, towing a U-Haul trailer. U-Haul, you never heard this. 3 feet of snow with a U-Haul double axle trailer
Have you tried it
in a
with mine?
backfield off-road,
I bet mine would be fine.
yours would totally get stuck, I'm sure.
I bet it doesn't.
Okay, well, maybe it would make it through the snow, but not with the trailer.
I had an old Dodge Caravan. I know some of you will love Dodge Caravans. It was an old one. It was like 2006, I think, right?
No, it was a 2001, and we had it in 2006.
So, okay, so it was older. That, no matter what, I drove in winter guessing how long it was going to take me to slide to the lights, not stop at the lights. I had to like figure out where I had to stop so that I could slide and stop by the time I slid to the lights. It got stuck everywhere. I had a shovel in the back of my van so I could shovel out. Yeah, no.
Yeah. You know, the reason why, and somebody said, well, where did your Toyota go? My Toyota was donated to the cause. I sold it.
I'm the cause.
And I didn't even tell Melissa. She didn't ask me to sell my car.
No, I actually was upset about it initially because I saw him drive up in the ambulance. I'm like, where's your car? Because he said, you know what? They don't want yours as a trade-in, but they would take mine as a trade-in. I said, you're not trading in your vehicle. So as soon as I saw him drive up in the ambulance, I was like, where's your car? I already knew something was up.
She knew. There's a whole episode.
Like, Alexander gets a stinker face. Like when he is when he's like full on like
what, like trying to
I don't
trick
want to
you?
say lying because you didn't tell me a lie, but you were withholding the truth.
I was withholding information.
Of a surprise. He has this face. It's very close to this, but I truly enjoy watching you together. Do the kids ever join in?
The kids do join in on occasion, yes.
The race car mask is on its way, Alex.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, the Toyota went, there was a video where it was a surprise for Melissa and it shows the ambulance, because I was joking on a live feed once that I would take the ambulance with the lights flashing and sirens going and I'd go and get myself a car.
Those guys love the ambulance, by the way, like the
dealership. They thought it was cool. Yeah, they went out and took pictures of it and stuff.
Yeah, they really love that.
Yeah.
And they'd seen our show before, which was, I mean, the guy that we were dealing with, he had seen our show.
It's not... So somebody said, why don't you lie and we'll see if you are lying or not.
Yeah, do it.
But now, okay, I will tell you one truth and one lie.
Look, he already is doing it. He might actually have like an uncontrolled stinker face. You can tell by his eyebrows. It kind of folds in a little bit.
Oh, it's my mischief face. Okay, fine. I didn't even have to lie to it's because she's here. It's because she's here. And I'm on the spot and she knows how to...
If I look
at
him...
No, don't look at me. It's super...
I'm like, you hold on. Look me in the eyes. I'm not one of the kids.
You know, the other time that I get that face when I'm feeling mischievous or something is when I go into a liquor store to buy like a bottle of wine. If you've ever watched the show American Graffiti, the movie, and Toad goes in and he's like, yo, I'll take some chewing gum and a chocolate bar and a pint of Old Harper, and he like throws in the alcohol in it because he's super guilty. That's how I still feel as a grown man. I'm middle-aged. I should be halfway done my life, but I still feel like a 12-year-old child who, well, not 12, that'd be weird. I feel like a 15-year-old whose parents are away for the weekend and somebody's like older brother is visiting. They're like, oh, you should just go in there and get yourself a beer. And I'm like, I can do it. That's how I feel when I go to a liquor store every time to this day. I don't know what it is. I'm like, hey. And then they're like, but now they used to ID me because they're like, this guy's super awkward. But they're like, they probably knew that I was over the age of 18, which is the age of majority. Now they're like, this guy's just awkward. Maybe and I don't get ID.
They probably take your ID just to write your name down and be like, something was up with this guy.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe
I know, he said to me, they ID'd me. I'm like, at what point do you start getting offended when you're in your 40s and they think you're younger than 18? Like,
yeah, well, we thought you looked old. You just act really weird. Like, oh, okay. That's all right then. You just thought I was in, yeah. Anyway.
Something.
Something.
I go in with confidence. If you say anything with confidence, people will believe you. I can't remember what I said, and I said, wait a minute, that's not right. And they said, I completely believed you. You could have just let me go.
They should, I don't know. Liquor stores, what do you gotta say? They are what they are. I don't like going in them. But, occasionally we'll have a glass of wine or something. We do not drink alcohol a whole lot.
No, right. I guess it makes it sound like we go every day.
No, I don't go every day because I feel super awkward about it when I go.
Actually, you know what's funny is every single time I go in, so we went over to Alexander's mom's the other day, and I thought it would be nice for me to bring a bottle of wine. So when I went in, almost every time I come out, I either run into one of the parents of my kids from my class, I mean, I'm sure they're like, oh, we get it. We see you. But and then the last time I ran into my daughter's teacher from, well, one of the teachers that I used to work with along with at their other school. So every time it's like I'm being busted, even though I'm an adult. I'm allowed to buy a bottle of wine, but I feel guilty as well. But
Maybe they ID me even though I'm old now because they think I have the Benjamin Button thing. Like, oh, you're like a 10-year-old that looks 90? Is that how this works? Like, my goodness. How do we get on this conversation? I don't even know how we got on this conversation.
oh, because of your guilt face.
Oh, my guilt face. Yeah. She was trying to make me say a lie, and then I even just thought about saying a lie, and then I instantly, she called me on it.
If you ever have any, oh, no.
Let's see.
Your video keeps stopping.
Yeah, we're reading some of the comments right now. Oh, there's a lot of let's see. I used to work at a Quickie Mart. Is that an actual place, Quickie Mart? I guess so. And I would card most of the women who were obviously in their 30s just to make their day. Jim, how many ex-wives do you have?
I completely never get carded, not even to make my day. They're like, nah.
Hello, lovely lady.
Where are you going with that?
And it's like Betty White. You're like, hi, young thing. I would card Betty White. I think if I was working behind the desk and I like had a little white-haired senior, she would probably be just mad. At that point, if you're 80, it's not charming anymore. If you've gone through your life and somebody's like giving you the, oh, I'm going to card this little old lady. She wouldn't be like, oh, you think I'm like 25 or whatever. It'd be like, are you kidding me?
Julie, not a stinky face, a stinker face, like when you're up to no good.
Yeah.
Just like a green face with little stink lines coming off.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Finally caught you live. Hello from Oregon City. Well, hello, Chris. I have been to Oregon City. And you would think because it's named after the state that it would be really big, but it's not. It's not like Portland's an interesting town. And I will say this here, Chris. I will tell you where I was in Portland, and you can probably guess. I don't know what the name of the theater was. I was in Portland, and I wanted to go to Voodoo Donuts downtown. So I went to Voodoo Donuts downtown. When I looked down the street, I don't know what direction it was. It was down there. It was like to the left down the street. There was a theater down there. And they were having a vegan burlesque book reading. Only in Portland, folks. Only in Portland.
That was when I was with you.
What? Who's gonna? And there was enough people to fill a theater to watch that stuff. I was, the one thing I will say about Portland, though, they had crazy amount of food trucks. Never have I seen so many food trucks in my whole life. The whole downtown was not. I think that there wasn't buildings anymore. It was just a bunch of food trucks. Oops. Like probably the biggest variety of food on a city block I've ever seen in my life. Kind of feel bad for anybody who wanted to open an actual restaurant in their downtown, though, because like Buddy in his truck just pulls up and parks and can sell whatever, and then you have to pay your rent in your restaurant. But maybe they don't do that. I don't know.
I don't know if it's Micamac or Micamac, but I know it's Moira. I'm glad that you put your name there because I recognized the handle, and she sent me some goodies last time. So she said, "Do I still have the lipsticks?" And I do have. I still have one that's still going strong. So thank you so much again.
I spent time in Portland and other parts of Oregon. And Portland to me is somebody saying, "Oh, it's scary." It was not scary when I was there. It just felt like it was a funky, weird. Like if Kate, I'm going to tell you this story. I went to a record store in Portland. Went to a record store there. A guy walks up who looked like he just stepped out of a Devo. I was there early because I was from out of town. I had nothing else to do. And a guy walks up who looks like he's out of a 1980s Devo movie. He has Flock of Seagulls hair. I'm pretty sure he was wearing a lampshade around his neck, had some kind of crazy outfit on and a backpack, and he's like 57 years old. Pretty sure he was in a new wave band or at least really loved it. So he walks up and he goes, "First nerd of the day, first nerd of the day." And he's talking about me because I'm there early because I want to be a patron of their record store, and I'm being like he not only did he call me a nerd for being there early in the morning, he sang a song about it. Dressed and he had Flock of Seagulls hair and like a lampshade weird outfit on. So I'm like, well, that's weird. And I almost felt defensive. I wasn't full. I'm Canadian. If I wasn't Canadian, I would have been full on Like, what's your problem? But I'm Canadian, so I'm like, well, I guess I am a little nerdy. I have my moments. How could he see through me so easily? I was more like, I thought I disguised it well enough, but no, it's true. I am probably the first nerd of the day. And so I was like, all right, I could eat that. And I went in the store and I was looking specifically for one record, which I did find for my dad. I was looking for a Ronettes record, introducing Veronica, the Ronettes. I think they did To Do Ron and all that. Anyway, Phil Spector, great album. Really hard to find. So I was looking for that album for my dad, as I often did. And anyway, so what does Flock of Seagulls Devo guy put on for music? Some random German 1980s synthopop stuff. And he was like grooving to it. I'm like, what land am I in? That was like one of my first stores I went to in Portland, and I'm like, what? And then later that day, I'm like, vegan burlesque book reading. It was like a different planet, folks. Oregon City, small town America, kind of cute city. Portland, I'm like, what? Did the aliens land here 20 years ago and populate this place, and we're all unaware that they're actually here? Because if you're from Portland,
then they know.
You know I'm right. The other thing that was cool about Portland is they still had a soapbox derby hill. From a previous time when people had soapbox. I think they still used it though. I'm like, soapbox derby racer hill. Like, I was like, cool. I didn't know that I would be, insulted by new wave German syntho pop Devo guy at some point.
It would be funny if he was like, that was me.
Oh, good to see you coming through. It looks like some Numis Maniac is going to come through and see me tomorrow. Yeah. So that was a whole lot of fun. Anytime I go traveling, I always like to go look around at the little antique malls and antique stores. And sometimes it puts me in a weird situation. Actually, I don't know if it was Oregon City. It might have been Oregon City. I went to a store and their hours, and I kid you not, I took a picture of it. I wish I still had the picture of it, but it's gone. It got deleted off my phone. They had a store and their actual hours of the day were 9:53 a.m. to 4:53 p.m. What happens in those 7 minutes? What happens in those 7 minutes? Why can't they just come at on the hour? I'm like, what? Like, maybe their bus schedule gets them there and they're like, well, I'm sure as heck not going to open early. And I'm sure as heck not going to open 7 minutes later. Why would you have specific hours like that? 9:53 in the morning? Did they just somebody shows up maybe they come at 10 a.m. and they're like, you guys are always early. I love this place. You're always 7 minutes early. Like, actually, no, we're always on time because if you read our sign, sir, the sign says 9:53 a.m. You could have come 7 minutes ago. You would have had 7 minutes more of your life back. It was the strangest store sign. I was like, what? Anyway, Oregon. Yeah. Crazy about football out there. You guys are all about your college football and your wineries. It's just college football people and wineries all over the place. And then you go to Portland and you're like, yeah, this is full on like aliens. Like from the first,
oh my God.
Men in Black 1. And you're like, these people look human, but I know that they're probably not. That German syntho pop guy, he was not actually human. Like, I'm sure if it was in Men in Black, he'd be like, step in through my door and you can buy my alien guns at half price. All I had to do was ask the right thing. Beep, bop, bop, beep, bop. And he'd be like, oh. But instead, I got the first Nerd of the Day song. I'll never forget it. It went exactly like this. First nerd of the day. First nerd of the day. And he didn't have any other verses than that. Like, that's all he could think of. I don't know if he thought of it on the spot.
He didn't need to come up with any of the verses. He remembered all the words this whole time.
It was catchy though. It stuck.
Oh my gosh.
It was catchy.
Raymond
Anyway.
asked, do you like Weird Al Yankovic? He's very funny.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, Yankovic.
Yes, Weird Al.
It's-
I don't know. I thought he was cool in the 80s. And then he does some funny stuff. Anyway. So yeah. Would I go back there? Well, I do fancy myself a voodoo donut every so often, so I might have to go back just for the voodoo donuts, of course. But here's the thing.
Where do we go after? Like when we brought the kids and you had me there.
It was, there was an antique store not far. We went to a different town.
Yeah.
And there was an antique store we stopped at. Really nice. Like they had neon signs and cool stuff. I don't know where it was. Maybe Oregon City. I don't know. I'm going to think like
No, it wasn't like a city. It was like a little town.
No, the thing is that the Oregon City isn't that big, but it's called Oregon City. If you're from Oregon City right now, tell me, what's the population of Oregon City, Oregon? I don't think it's very big. Like they call themselves, it'd be like if New York didn't call themselves New York. Well, if it was like a small town and it was called New York, New York, and you're like, I've heard all about this place. I hear Broadway's exceptional. You go there and it's just like a hardware store and a gas station. What?
Christine
This
said,
isn't what I thought of.
what is Voodoo Donuts?
Voodoo Donuts is a donut shop, and because it's in Portland, it's not a normal donut shop. It's a donut shop where the Voodoo Donut is a chocolate glazed donut that looks like a voodoo doll filled with red sort of cherry filling or whatever, like a donut, right? It's big. It's a big donut. And they put a pretzel steak, like it's got a steak going into it, and then the filling comes out so it looks like it's bleeding. Anyway, it's good. You have to take my word for it. It's an experience.
That's what we ate.
We all ate it. The donuts are good. That's fine. Here's the other thing you need to know about it.
Oh, Astoria? Is that where we went? We did stop in Astoria.
We didn't stop in Astoria.
I thought we stopped in Astoria.
Okay, here's what's on the menu. If I recall, you could get Captain Crunch on a donut. I think you get Lucky Charms. You could get Pepto-Bismol sprinkled on top of a donut.
There was something in bacon. It was like Fruit Loops and bacon.
Fruit Loops and bacon, probably. They had bacon-flavored beer. So that's the type of place that, yeah, you could get like medicine sprinkled on top of a donut. That just seems odd to me. So yeah, there we go. I would have liked to have stopped.
39,000 population.
So yeah, see, it wasn't very big. It might have been Oregon City we went to. If they've got an antique store right on the main stretch. We went and we sat on the bench, and they were very nice. They saw that we had Canadian license plates. I want you to imagine, like, we just came from Portland, where it's like, what is this weird land with the bacon-flavored donuts and all this stuff going on? And then we get in the car and we drive 5 minutes, and it's like, we're like on the Andy Griffith Show, basically. It's like some old guy was sitting on the bench there. I think he was like eating an apple, but with a knife. He's like, I see y'all from Canada. Somehow he was from the South all of a sudden. I see y'all from Canada. No, he didn't talk like that. But he was like, you're from Canada. Well, I went up there once. Nice folks up in Canada. You have yourselves a great day. And I'm like, well, isn't that nice? He was nice to us. And everybody who saw that we were from Canada was super nice, because Canadians aren't known for, like, we haven't done a whole lot of bad stuff. I mean, well, not to America. I don't think we don't go down there and we're like, we're from Canada. We're going to burn down your houses. That doesn't happen too often. So he was like being nice to us. And so we had a good experience there. We went in the store, and luckily we had the roof rack on the van. We strapped a roof rack on the van. And I loaded it full of, like, the guy had just taken a bunch of old coffee bins, which I could have used now. They were amazing copper coffee bean dispensers that came out of a old general store. He had a set of 4 of them. They were absolutely stunning. Bought them, loaded up the whole roof with all that stuff. Our van was so low to the ground when we got to customs on the way back home that I'd been antiquing the whole way. And the van was like dragging. Like there were sparks probably coming off. And the guy at the border is like, do you guys do any shopping while you're away? We're like, yeah, we did. He's like, well, how long are you going for? And we were like, I don't know, 12, 14 days. He's like, he looks in the van, probably saw the headache that would be to look at all this stuff. He's like, go ahead. He didn't want to deal with it. As the van we had, which was a Honda Odyssey at the time, lurched its way across the border.
We just bought it for that trip, and then.
No, it's that I bought it and used it.
I forgot.
That's the vehicle I had. When I started this YouTube channel, when I started this business, I had a worn out, broken down Honda Odyssey minivan that actually still drove really good.
But you drove it for pics. That wasn't like.
No, that was my vehicle.
Yeah.
That was my, like, I was bummed out because any nice car that I had, I sold to help get the business going.
Yeah.
So all my fun stuff. Remember how I said I had an E-Type Jag before? I sold that. Anything that I had that was kind of worth something, I sold because I put it all towards the business. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm driving this thing now. So when we decided to do a trip down the United States, I'm like, why would we put miles on your vehicle? We can just drive this Honda. It runs well enough, and who cares if it has 1 million miles at the end of it? We're just going to get rid of it anyway. So we drove it down there and put a whole pile of miles on it. Yeah, it was a fun trip. We had a good time.
Did I remember you in that van, Snarkopotamus?
What's in the tea tonight? It's just tea. It's just
Right, I kept the wrapper because I knew somebody would ask. Look at me go. It's stash, decaf, chocolate hazelnut.
wait. Is that your secret stash? Like wink, wink. It's that's
That
the
was
brand.
bad.
I tried. Oh man, it's been like an hour. I got carried away on that tangent of that.
I don't know how long it's been because mine doesn't
No, look,
say.
it's 64 minutes. I've been chatting about like weird random stuff that's
We
been
should
going
still
on.
do a Q&A quick and then.
Okay, Q&A time, guys. We'll do 5 minutes of Q&A and then we got to log off because somewhere, I started off this thing saying I want to spend more time with the kids.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Guys, we forgot about the kids.
Are you too high? Somebody asked. The elevation of Edmonton is higher than most as our proximity to the mountains is, about 3 or 4 hours away. So when you look at it from a perspective of sea level,
Yes.
then yes, we are higher than most due to sea level. Yes, there you go. Okay.
Pepsi or Coke? Coca-Cola for me. Abigail and I were doing like a little Spanish course, and the only thing that I can really remember from it was "Y una Coca-Cola, por favor."
Do you have to dance when you order?
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Oh, these Canadians are so
Because
spicy."
At the very end of the lesson, they have like he's like he does a little chant, and it gets stuck in your head like it.
Melissa and Abigail have been learning some Spanish from a guy who sings the Spanish.
At the end, he sings the Spanish.
So eventually, when we do go to Mexico or to Spain or whatever, they're going to use
yeah.
this. She's going to, wait, I got this. Una Coca-Cola, por favor. And she's just going to be dancing. And they're like, I like Canadians. You guys are great. She's going to sing it all. Abigail's
Well,
the
what do
same
you
way.
like better, Coke or Pepsi?
I don't like really either. I guess if I had to choose, I would choose Coca-Cola. I find Pepsi a bit fizzy.
I think it tastes like Diet Coke, and I don't like Diet Coke.
Wow,
so.
Pepsi people are going to be so mad right
Sorry,
now.
Pepsi. You know.
Okay, not Coke. If I had okay, if you gave me an option, you said you must pick a soda right now, and you have to pick one, it would be
beer.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I would go root beer.
I'm sorry, Dr. Pepper.
You're crazy. It's root beer.
Do you guys have Dr. Pepper where you guys are?
A&W root beer.
First off, it's got to be good for you because it says doctor right on the title.
All Pepsi fans unsubscribed. They feel like it's my wife. I'm sorry.
You know what I don't like? And I know Jim Gaffigan, I think, had a joke about this, or somebody did, when they're like, you go to a restaurant and you're like, yeah, can I get a Coke, please? And they're like, Pepsi, okay? And you're like, well, I ordered a hamburger. You're going to give me fish instead? Like, it's not the same thing. If you like one, you typically don't really like the other. You're always like, you're like, oh, this is where I have to settle right now.
We generally don't drink soda very much either, or pop.
No, we don't. We don't drink a whole lot of soda.
Because the amount of sugar or caffeine in it.
Our splurge would be probably like a sparkling San Pellegrino with flavoring.
Because that still has sugar in it, but
it's
it has
mostly
less.
water.
Yeah.
I think, didn't they do a thing where they showed you how much sugar is actually in a can of Coke and it's like a lot, like a cup of sugar or something crazy like that? I don't know.
Fresca.
The original recipe Coca-Cola, that would definitely perk you up. They don't put cocaine in drinks anymore. They probably like, wow, a little dab will do you. That's probably why the old Coke bottles were so small, like pharmacy bottles, is it was chock full of cocaine.
Wow.
It's true.
I know.
Well, it was coca leaf, but it's the same darn thing.
I feel like.
Yeah. So like, wow, Grandpa sure is peppy today. He's been drinking his Coca-Cola original brand all night long. I wonder when they phased out the coca leaf out of there. Probably when people were like, yeah. Timmy went down to the store and bought some Coca-Cola and then he rode his bicycle to Omaha. And they're like, we don't know how he did it, but we're pretty sure he shouldn't have had that Coca-Cola. Okay, we got questions. Let's get back to questions.
Okay. I saw kombucha. That's not a question, but I tried that the other day at your mom's. It was actually not bad. I thought it was going to taste horrible.
9 tablespoons of sugar in a can of Coke. So he's like, yeah, Omaha. All right, Omaha, hometown.
Ice cold A&W in a glass. I agree. That sounds good.
We can't read everything that is being written right now. We're being asked because it scrolls by very quickly. Melissa tries and catches it up, but...
Plus, I can't interrupt Alexander when he's in the middle of the story.
Somebody said, have you ever tried moonshine? We don't have to go to the United States to try moonshine. There's people around here that have moonshine.
I've tried moonshine.
Yeah, it's always like black cherry.
No,
that's like the big thing.
No, I tried moonshine, like potatoes.
Colin says, do you own the store outright? Yes, we do. And the little lot that's next to it came with.
Yeah.
Somebody said, ooh, Dr. Pepper gagged me. Orange Crush is...
Orange Crush Floats are really good.
Or yeah, Orange Crush is better in a float. You know what's
And-
not great to have as a float? Coffee float probably would not be great. Maybe it was if it was cold, I guess. You don't have whiskey floats too often. I don't think that would be a good combination.
Well, I guess it depends if it's isn't what's the liqueur that is whiskey?
Oh, Irish cream?
Is it Bailey's?
Bailey's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bailey's float would be good, and that's whiskey.
I guess. Okay.
But I would rather not. When you want to cool off and chug something, I don't want alcohol in it.
Okay, what about a tomato juice float?
Ooh, no.
I'm gonna order that next time we go to a restaurant.
Nancy said Abigail votes for brisk.
Abigail would vote for brisk. Our daughter
All
likes
right.
brisk. Yeah, can I get a tomato juice float, please? And they'd be like, what now? That's right. Next time you go to a restaurant, order that and see if they bring it to you.
Jana banana.
Got her rhinestone. Yeah, Jana says she got her rhinestone earrings yesterday. So happy, and they cleaned up so well. That's
Good.
very glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So a couple more questions for you. Do you guys have Clamato in wherever you are in the world? If you're in Canada,
Look, Peter answered that question. Nasty.
he says nasty tomato juice float.
That was I thought. Do
Yeah.
you like Win Call the Heart series?
I don't know what that is. It must be maybe it's a TV show or something.
Like Win Call the Heart series.
We're not sure what you mean, Raymond. If it's a TV show, we
But
haven't
thank
seen
you.
it. Yeah. So yes,
I've had
Clamato is in the United States because nothing is more appetizing than looking at a clam and being like, I want to eat snot in a shell, but then be like, there's some extra juice gunk in here. Let's
Gross,
milk
Alexander.
it. Let's milk this naughty ocean snot thing out and drink it.
So this is why Alexander can't run the cafe, because this is how he
This
advertises.
is another reason. Hi, I'd like a Clamato juice, please. I'm like, okay, let me just go milk some ocean snot out in your cup for you. Yeah, see, there's a reason right there. I lack the eloquence that one might. I'm sure I wouldn't say that if I was
you would
actually
fine.
there.
Yeah, my dad used to like Pilsner and Clamato juice, and Alexander
Ugh.
had some to like honor my dad. I wasn't even a good daughter.
Thank
There
you,
was no
Cindy of Red
chance.
Deer, by the way. She said she got the metal sculptures from the last sale. She says they need to clean them up. That's authentic dust that was on there. That's how you know
That's
it came
right.
from the musician's house. We gave you authentic Betty Joan dust.
There seriously was a point where we just couldn't get to it all, and we thought, you know what, we're just gonna have to trust everybody to clean it.
I don't know how Dave could drink Pilsner and Clamato. His favorite thing on earth, pill and clam.
Not his favorite.
Okay, but if I would go, when we were doing the Potter's House series, I would take your dad out, we get a pizza or something, and I'd be like, you want something? Oh, pill and clam, please.
Oh,
and
yes.
they would be like, okay. They wouldn't even say anything.
Pilsner's okay. I'm not a huge fan, but it's not bad. But Clamato juice and Clamato, and I could. Oh, no. I
See,
don't like seafood though, so.
If I was the waiter, I'd be like, dude, what is your problem? That's disgusting. I don't even know why we sell that stuff here. I use it to scare rats out of the kitchen. We put it all around the edge like a pentagram of Clamato to keep everybody and everything away. But no, you're going to drink it with your Pilsner. It's disgusting. Oh,
Yeah,
but he
you
would get it
drank
every
some.
time. And so on to honor him, when we did his celebration of life, I got pill and clam for people to try. And I thought, well, I'm going to try some. It was still disgusting. Not even the taste of beer, not even a quantity of beer could get the thought that I was drinking Clamato juice out. I silently
If my
dumped.
dad was there, he would have appreciated it and then
Oh,
laughed. Yeah.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad. But you know what? I don't, but Clamato juice, yeah, it's clam. And when I say clam, I mean it's like, take the clam and tomato juice. That's what it is.
Alexander.
And they use it in Caesar. Okay, I like Clamato juice when it's in a Caesar. I can stand it then. I like it then. I like Caesars. A little salted
Why
rim on it,
put
a
some
piece of celery in it. You're all
No.
set.
Oh God, no.
Somehow, Clamato juice in a Caesar, which is a Canadian drink, invented in Calgary, Alberta. If you've not had a Caesar, I think it's like a Bloody Mary, basically, but with clam in it. Like, come on now. Anyway,
So Cindy said people commented my video. I should sell the dust.
you should sell the dust. All right, folks, what do we got here? Bag of dust, authentic dust from the Musician's House series. Where are we going to be? Oh, hey, speaking of the Musician's House, Hans and Zenobia stopped in today. If you've not gone over to their channel, which is Helping Hans, you can see them working on the Musician's House and carrying on with some of the renovations. So I encourage you, go to their channel and you can watch some of what's going on over there.
I saw Ron said sauerkraut and whipped cream. You know, I think that's probably good because when we have pierogies and sour cream, when the sour cream like gets into the sauerkraut, that is good time.
That sounds like something your mom would make. Your
Oh,
mom adds
sounds
whipped cream
so
to
good.
everything.
My mom does whipped cream with everything.
Yeah. She's like, you know what would make this better?
What are you doing? Why are you eating your strawberry? Here, let's put some cream on there.
Yeah. So on that note,
Make sure I didn't miss anything.
guys, thank you so much. Oh, somebody said they swallowed the worm in the bottle from a bottle of
nobody
tequila.
else can see it because I had to show it.
I would not want to swallow. You think that? Okay, I'm going to end on this note, guys.
I
I'm
know what
ending
you're
on this
saying.
note. If you think it's bad to swallow the worm in the tequila, think of this. In Northern Canada, there was a restaurant that had a good luck toe, a human.
Wasn't that up north or something?
Yeah, it was up north. They had a human toe that they had like pickled basically in this bottle, and they would keep the human toe in there. I'm not making this up. The guy didn't die. It's not like they found a dead body and like, that guy was murdered. Let's keep the toe and make alcohol with it. The guy had like probably an infected toe, and they're like, well, gotta use it for something. Drops it in the whatever it was, whiskey, let's say. Yukon, somebody says. But here's the thing. Whitehorse, that's where it was. They were mad, and they were in the news for this because some out of towner went up there and they drank it and they ate the toe. They were like, show you, blah, 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 blah. Toe
it was like
is
a
gone.
dare if you let it touch your lips or something like the. I mean, this is
Lord.
for sure pre-COVID.
I'm saying these words out of my mouth and it's disturbing me to no end.
I thought it was a joke, and then I looked it up, and it still makes me feel stomach sick just to.
Dawson City, Yukon. Look up the Dawson City, Yukon toe. And you'll Google it after, and you'll be like, this guy isn't just full of it. He's just sharing really disgusting stories.
Yeah. We thought, if that's an image we can never get out of our brains, let us share that with you.
At what point do you see it floating towards you to like, changing my mind? Oh, too late. Or unless he's like, yeah, love toe.
I think he purposely did it. I don't think it was an accident.
No, he did it on purpose.
Yeah, he did it on purpose.
And they were mad, and so they took his toe in retaliation. They're like,
no.
Take a toe, give a toe. It's just like the take a penny, leave a penny thing that they used to have at stores, or take a dime, leave a dime, or whatever. Take a toe, leave a toe. And then like some big burly Yukon guy would stand in front of the door. We ain't kidding, son. Take that sock off. No! God, I wouldn't want to pass that in your stool.
Somebody said only 90 likes. So on Alexander's, it says that there's more. If you haven't liked this video and you like it.
Put a thumbs up on this story for sure.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if the guy was really drunk off of drinking toe juice, drops a deuce in the toilet and forgets to flush? The next guy goes, he's like, oh man. And then you notice, you're like, oh, he had some corn and a human toe. Oh, you'd be like, that guy was a cannibal for sure.
My gosh.
I'd be calling the cops.
The only good part is that usually by this point, people that are watching the replay are not going to get to this point of the story.
Yeah, here's the thing.
This is special just for you guys.
People never watch the whole live stream because they're like, they're too long. But look what you're missing. You're missing a classy chat. These are all many reasons why I should not be the guy who's giving you your coffee. Here you go. I barely spat in it. I can't.
Phoebe said,
I'll find somebody appropriate to run our coffee shop.
Nice seeing you both. Drink responsibly. It's also decaf.
We have discussed it. Okay, I am so sorry for grossing everybody out there. I promise you we have classy moments. And look, I even put a tie on and this conversation came out. The goal of this chat was to try and inspire, and then we got silly. What'd you put in my tea?
It's just tea.
What did you put in my tea?
It's hazelnut
Woman.
chocolate.
Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you. So, you know what's funny is that somebody said that they recommended our channel as being a comedy channel. They're like, you should go check out this comedy channel called Curiosity. I'm like, that you're not taking your life very seriously if people think that you're doing comedy, but this is just really how goofy you are in real life. This is what's happening. Yeah.
Oh, well, who cares? I would rather be known as a comedy channel than like, you want to be depressed?
There you go. So guys, here's the news.
It's a silly place.
Almost $12,000 together combined with the 10 that Melissa and I put in and an extra 2 from viewers like yourself at home for the Betty Joan Rack Fund at the ARMTA. That's a big one. And we're continuing to add donations so we can do more with it. Let's see. The other thing is the auction, the Last Musician's House auction is live right now. Kastner Auctions, kauctions.ca. You can go there now. You can bid on stuff until the 27th of March. And then you'll be able to take something, and that's really like, we don't have a whole lot left after that. So from that house, I mean, there's other stuff in the store, but that's that. So go look for stuff, go bid on something. If you are inspired by piano playing or by music, you could donate to the Betty Joan Rack Fund, and we can help out some more students. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to prep continue to renovate and dream now of possibly getting another story for you. I was going to say another store, not another store, another building to renovate, another house or something to renovate. I'm going to keep my eyes open for that. So with that in mind and with those adventures planned ahead, should be an interesting 2021. And thank you all for tuning into this somewhat strange and unusual, but yet somehow helpful channel.
And we would love for those of you that have not joined us yet, join our YouTube community and subscribe down below.
Oh yeah, subscribe. Do that.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, see us again for what crazy adventures happen.
Wait, when you're saying see us again, is that your Spanish being mixed in there?
No.
Yes. Us
Yes.
again.
Come
Anyway,
along
guys,
for our crazy adventures.
you didn't dance when you said see though.
See?
There we
Oh,
go.
then you know?
Yeah, then I know.
Y una Coca-Cola, por favor.
There we go. And on that note, we shall say goodnight. So thank you all very much for watching. We will see you all soon. And next video should be out tomorrow with how the shelves went for the store. That doesn't sound exciting, but it is. You'll have to see. Have a good night, guys, and bye for now.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.